I'm not saying I lied, but that now I'm saying that is not true. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the channel. Today is Sunday. I don't know when this video will be going up. It might not be a Sunday, but let me wish you a happy Sunday because I'm filming this on a Sunday. This is actually after church on a Sunday, and I'm just cooking. I was actually planning to make a sit-down video about this, but as the thoughts were going in my head, I was just like, while I'm cooking, why not just do a cook and gist with me video to discuss this. And yeah, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, thanks for tuning in, and if you're returning since first, I got much love for you. Thank you. So if you're returning since first, do well to share this video, and if you are new here, click the subscribe button in case you end up liking this video, and turn on notification. For a while I stopped saying that, so I'm back. I want to return to saying it again. So yeah, I'm actually cooking jollof. Let me show you guys what I'm cooking. Jollof is our staple. Something we must always have in our fridge. So the last batch I made is done, it's finished, and I'm making new ones. I'm almost like done. My rice is on the stove already. Let me show you guys. So yeah, food is almost done. Like, it's just for it to get cooked. It's not like the major reason for this video. The major reason for the video is just the thoughts running through my head, and it's about parenting. So I know I made a video recently, a couple of weeks or months ago, where I mentioned that I saw a comment about somebody that said that they are not thinking they want to come to Canada anymore because of something a YouTuber posted. So while we are talking about parenting, let me show you this painting my daughter made from school. So she said this was me she painted, and this picture is in my kitchen to show how much I appreciate the picture. So she gave me a flower. I even had earrings, but I took that off because it was falling off, right? I have a necklace, I have flowers, I have lipstick. Can you imagine? I have eyebrow. Beautiful thing. Yeah, so I was saying, I remembered in that video that I said that there's no biggie. So I'll be clearing my kitchen like the dishes are washed while I do this talk. So I remember that I said there was no big deal, that parenting in Nigeria is the same as parenting in Canada. But guys, I'm not saying I lied, but that's right now I'm saying that is not true. Well, it doesn't mean I lied then, I don't know, but that is right now, as at then that could have been true, but right now that is not true. And the reason is because of recent happenings. So I'll just do my thing and just talk, so you might not see my face. And somebody even sent me a DM about this, and while talking was when I thought of filming a video about this thing. So recently like I said in one video, like, my kids attend Catholic school, and one of the reasons I took them to a Catholic school was because of, I said it in that video, they teach them, even though it's not the religion that they are used to at home. The religion at home is Pentecostal, the religion in church is Catholic. There are like some different things, different perspectives to religion for both way of practicing Christianity, right? But there were still some things that made me decide I'm sending my kids to a Catholic school, and one of those things is religion, right? So recently there was, because I'm filming this in June. I don't know if it will go up in June, and in this month in Canada, I don't know if it's the same for every western part of the world. This month in Canada, my husband said the US too, is Pride Month. And Pride Month is when LGBTQ and all those. The reason because I don't want to answer questions that I'm not ready for this afternoon was because when I said that it went on a low level, I'll type it on the screen. My kids are here. I'm not ready to answer some questions right now. Like, I'm not in the mental space for that. So yeah, this is the month they celebrate. Like it is like they do parades, they bring up, like not bring up, they make tents where people can just come and have fun, and kind of a carnival fun, celebrate, like they kind of celebrate that in this month. And so there was an activity from the school. Let me continue with what I was saying. There's an activity from the school that required that the kids go visit, like it's like do some activities outside school. And there was, I didn't even know there was anything off until I got an email from the school explaining why they didn't allow the kids go visit a tent for LGBTQ. And the explanation was it made sense. Like, so parents send their kids to this school because of some values, and they want to uphold those values. They are sorry, but this is what they have to do right now. And that was when I decided to ask questions like, what happened? Why did we have this? What happened? What caused the email to be sent? And then I realized that these people said that the Catholic school is discriminating against them because when the kids went to this school activity, they told Catholic school students not to go to the tents made by these people, and yeah, they said it's discrimination. And then I was like, I went on to ask further questions. What was in the tent? What do they want the kids to come and learn in the tent, right, Abby? Because it was a school activity, and if there was a need for the kids to come there, that means okay, there should be like something the kids should learn from coming there, Abby. So what was it they wanted to teach the kids? And then I asked further about high schools, Catholic high schools. And they said no, some Catholic high schools do not really take a stand against exposing this to the children. Like they feel like high school students are people that can make their own decisions even without their parents' consent to an extent. And so they show these things. Somebody actually showed me a video where, there's like this TV, not like TV that just display things like in the school compound. And what was displayed was how it's okay to be a trans, it's okay to express yourself, it's okay to, decide on what you want to do, you should not be discriminated against and all that. And I got, guys, I'll not lie, I got scared. And the reason I got scared was because as much as I want to say, well, kids in Nigeria will also see this, kids in Nigeria will also eventually learn about this, like they will eventually know about this, but it is not like right in our faces the way it is in the Western world. So even though I said in that video that it is not a big deal to raise kids in this part of the world, it is and I don't want to say it's a little bit, it's a lot more difficult. Because beyond the fact that these things are like, they are trying to push this agenda to, allow kids to be themselves, allow kids make their own decisions. You cannot force your belief on a child and all that. Allow kids. It's not this wrong. Like, it's not like this in Nigeria. Except I've been out of Nigeria for maybe 2 years now. Tell me now, how is it like? Are they pushing to teach kids? I'm sure they are not. What? No, I'm sure that's not the same in Nigeria right now. Nobody is pushing for. Let me check my rice before I end up with a burnt jollof rice. So yeah, I'm sure it is not this bad. Like, it cannot be this bad back home. And apart from even the fact that they are pushing this like in our faces, another thing that is lacking, that is making parenting a bit more difficult, or a lot more difficult actually, is the fact that there's no community like that here. You know how I've said this before, just when I came, but now I'm missing it a lot more. How you are correcting your child about a mistake they made, and you are talking to them and all that, and there's another elderly person just with you where you are correcting your child, And the person is also, putting mouth to say, yeah, your mother is right. Even though they are saying it's okay, don't shout on your child too much, they are also helping you correct the child. They also, and sometimes children want to hear this thing you are saying from another person that is not their parents. Let me show you what this rice looks like. They want to hear this thing, not because they don't believe you, but maybe because they don't believe you as a parent. Like, it's the same thing they've been saying. But if they hear it from another person, it's like, okay, another person is saying the same thing. That another person and my parents, all of them cannot be wrong together. But we don't have that here. In fact, to the parents, if you are afraid of, you're afraid of some of the things you want to say to your child before you attempt, a discriminating mommy or something. But still going back to that, we cannot afford to say, yeah, because they said we should not discipline our children, because they said we should not, we cannot beat. They did not say that's the thing. I think, and I think that's where some of us are making mistakes. What the government frowns at is beating your child. Child abuse. The government is not saying don't discipline your child. And for some of us, when we come, we say, the Afuku said we cannot beat our child. The Afuku said we shall not. And we just leave children to become something I don't know. The government did not say we cannot discipline our children. No. They said we should not abuse the children. And abuse is, beating out of anger. There are other ways. I think since I got here actually, I've just learned better ways of disciplining my child. And those better ways have helped my life too. Like, I don't have to beat and my body will be paining me. It's okay. But there are other ways. We just have to learn how to discipline. We have to discipline our children. We cannot make the mistake of coming and saying, they have said and will say. They have said, and we to, people that will come here are not people that will sit down and fold their hands and say, it is what it is. This is where we have found ourselves. Even though this is where we have found ourselves, we still have the responsibility of raising up these children to be responsible adults, responsible people in the society. And yes, still talking about this, I remember that somebody sent me a message to ask about, like, what is my take, what is my opinion, what do I think about, bringing children to this space right now. Like, what do I think? Let me bring my camera this way. Is it okay? Okay. I'm putting plates. This person was asking me, what do I think? The chicken is ready to go into the fridge. Some plantains. Pick one, pick one, pick one. So the person was asking me, what do I think about, relocating at this time? And of course, me, I am not anti-relocation. Because the fact is, my siblings are still coming. And they will have children, right? And apart from that, one thing I also know is, from these things I see, from the kids some of the kids I interact with, from some of the things we see on social media, there are still kids here that have sense. There are still kids here that have been trained, that have been raised up to be godly, to be responsible. And that did not just happen. And that comes to the parents. So that's like a Jessica attitude we can have in Nigeria and say, church, you teach them. The one that school teach them, the one that church teaches them, and the one that where again teach them is okay. Like, even in Nigeria, they used to tell us that we should not leave our children to be trained just by the church and the school. But yeah, that thing is much more important. To say, do not leave your child to be trained. You cannot even leave your child to be trained by the school. Yeah, even if you take your child to a Catholic school, you still cannot leave your child to be trained by the school. For some of the trainings, I don't know, We cannot leave at the end of the day, no matter how we want to put it. We cannot leave our children to be trained by the school. And how long do they spend in church? Maybe 2 hours on a Sunday, 1 hour if we go for, maybe 2 hours so if we go for midweek service. That's 4 hours in a week. In a week that is 24 times 7 hours. That's too small to be the only way that we'll train our children. So what I told the person that asked me is, yes, it is a lot more difficult. But the thing is, for parents here, and in every Western part of the world, for that matter, we just need to be more intentional about our children. Because whether they turned out good or they turned out bad, it is still us they will ask. It is still us God will ask. God will ask us, because He has given us those children as that we should be stewards. We should watch over them. Like, take this child, train him for me. And most times when we look at children and we see whether a good one or a bad one of the first things that comes to our mind is, who are the parents? Which house? What kind of house did they come from? And yes, that also reminds me that, some of the movies we watch where we see children that turn out to be psychopaths, or children that become murderers and all that. When you look at, when they want to now end the story, most times, most of the movies, I've actually not seen anyone that they say that is not the upbringing. It is always the upbringing. It's always, maybe there was an abusive father or an absent mother, or it must come from the upbringing, from the family the person has come from. And I think that's why, the devil is attacking family units. Like, if I can just get the children. I was telling somebody that for us, the adults now, there are some sins that you cannot find the adults committing. There are some things that you cannot just find. Be like, me, how? But the kids are still very easy to capture. The kids are still very easy to, lure into doing some things. And that is why we need to be very, very careful with raising our kids. Yes, I know I said that it's not a big deal to raise your child, whether in an African home or in a Western home. But the fact is, it is a lot more difficult here. Guys, this thing is showing. When this thing is showing, it is more difficult. And the fact that and that thing I saw about the high school, they are not so, even though it was a Catholic school, they were showing why you should be an LGBTQ person. And that tells me that, especially for people with young children, this is the time. This time that your kids are still young, that you can tell them, come back here, sit down there, and they will listen to you, is a time. The scripture says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. This is the time to feed them as much as. I also remember that Gloria EJ, she's in China, and she posted something on her Instagram story, and that means this thing is also happening there too. Like, I don't know. She posted like something in this line on her Instagram story, and one of the things I told her is, we just have to feed her. We'll feed them Jesus so much that there will not be any space for any other thing. Like, you can, for someone that is planning to come to Canada and you have kids, and you're planning to have kids, especially young children, you cannot be the person that will be on the fence. Now, on Sunday morning, your children don't know whether you are going to church or not, and it's not because you are sick. What did you say? You cannot be the one that your 5-year-old child, maybe not 5-year-old, your 9-year-old child, your 10-year-old child will say, I don't feel like going to church today. And you say it's okay, they should not go. It cannot be you if you want to raise, especially in this part of the world. Even in Nigeria, I will not allow my 8-year-old, even my 20-something-year-old will have a cogent reason to tell me that they are under my roof. I'm going to church and they don't want to go. You must have a reason. You should have a reason. You must have. There shall be a good reason, for you to say that. So it cannot be the parents that will say, that's how they used to do it here. Oh. They don't used to discipline child. Oh. You discipline your child, oh, the government will catch you. That's not what the government say you should not do. What the government say we should not do is abuse the children. So if parents eventually raise children that are irresponsible, you cannot blame the government, because the government did not say do not discipline your child. The government said do not abuse your child. So that's the gist, the thoughts that were running through my head today. Like, parenting is actually not what it will have been if I am still in Nigeria. But it is not something that is impossible. So yes, it is a bit more difficult, but it is not impossible. It is not impossible. We just have to be more intentional, about our parenting, and this is also not the time to say, even for kids, in African countries, this is not the time to say a child is asking you questions and you are shutting them up. Hey, what do you know? It's not time for you to know it yet. Even if it's not time for them to know it yet, like, there should be age-appropriate answers for every question. Yeah, I know we don't want to, tell, yeah, they are age-appropriate. You don't want to tell your 5-year-old some things, your 8-year-old some things, there are age-appropriate answers for every question. So it's also not the time to say, shut up, what do you know? Don't tell them. We cannot do parenting by all those, shut up, we don't talk where adults are talking. That cannot happen. For training the generation of this, is it alpha they call them? This alpha generation. Pray God helps us too. I pray God helps us, because the fact is, there are people here that God is helping to train up responsible, godly children. And if they can, God's grace as well. And God's grace will not run out. We just need to tap into the grace. I pray God helps us in Jesus' name. What are your thoughts about this video? If you are in a Western world, or in a part of, you are training your children right now, your young children, in a part of the world where and it's actually difficult everywhere, right? So I want to know, help me in the comments, or help us in the comments. Share with us in the comments, how are you raising your children? What are the things you have put in place, that will help you with the raising of responsible, godly children? And when I say responsible and godly, you know what I mean? Children that are not confused about their identity. That know, okay, this is what I am and this is what I am. Without confusion. What are you putting in place to ensure that you raise children that are sure, that know, that are not confused? Please share in the comments. Thanks for watching. Until we see in the next video, have a beautiful life, guys. Let me finish up. I could not focus on clearing up this kitchen. Let me finish up clearing my kitchen. Until we see in the next video, have a beautiful life, guys. Bye.